Hello and welcome to a Pro Patch breakdown here at LolClass. Let's take a look at this week's changes.
So Corgi got quite some changes. His passive got changed a bit. Now his passive does 10% bonus damage and half his damage magic damage. So no longer 2 damage, but he does more bonus damage and half the damage is magic. And then there's the package, the new change to his W, which means that after 8 minutes in the game, there will be a package at the fountain which Corgi can pick up and then boost his Valkyrie to be like almost double the range, I think. And it will knock enemies to the side, like Draven's E spell, and it will be a stronger burn, I think, on the W. So it's gonna be like the ultimate NA equalizer. So if you wanna be a Corgi player in NA now, this is your chance. The rest of the kit is kind of like this, how it was before. The Q is still just the bomb. The E hasn't changed though. It reduces magic just now. I didn't do that before. And then the ult is the same. Every third hit is a big one that does more damage than the small one. Cobalt got quite some change in the Season 6 patch. His Q gives a large amount of attack speed at higher ranks, 50% at the level 5 on the Q. But however, the biggest kit is the W and the R. The W is now giving you, as always, high range. It has a lower cooldown at level 7, and also it gives, it makes your attack speed cap double, so you can attack 5 times. However, I'm not sure how it's gonna be if you're going to like new attacks with this, but I think that you're gonna be like and then stand still and just be like a machine gun with Kog'Maw, and you'll like shred everything in your area. And so I'm interested to see how the W is gonna play out. I think he's gonna be more AD focused maybe, because you get so much attack speed from this. However, the E is still the same. It's just a line skill shot that slows and damages everyone that is in the trail. And a big change, it's more of a execute spell now. It does a lot more damage to targets that are below 1/4 HP. So yeah, being Kog'Maw is like a machine gun and execution tool.
So these Ashe changes are pretty interesting. The changes to her passive works a bit differently, and I think I like it. I did really enjoy having the auto crit after each auto, but now it's going to be just, she auto attacks as normal, like every other AD carry, but she gets a super slow on her autos, which is pretty interesting just because she's still like a super utility AD carry, and they're kind of just reinforcing that, taking away a bit of her reliability. But talking about reliability, we're going to a Q where she actually does insane damage all the time if she's able to keep 5 stacks of her Q up, because it doesn't actually have a cooldown now. It doesn't slow any extra, which changes a bit of her playstyle, because I used to throw out like volley that was buffed with the Q when I'm trying to run away and stuff, but it still looks pretty good in team fights just because you can permanently have your Q activated, which always does an insane amount of damage actually. So it's gonna be pretty sweet. And then her W counting as a crit just to increase the slow is not too big of a change, but just makes it so her W slows pretty hard all the time, which is really nice just for kiting everyone, getting away. It's pretty sweet. So overall, these Ashe changes look really nice. Ezreal changes are also kind of weird. They really only changed his Q and his E, besides the stat buff. They made it so it's more rewarding to hit your Q and more punishing if you don't, because it's got a 0.5 second longer cooldown if you don't hit it, and the cooldown reduction is 1.5 instead of 1. So interesting at the least. That means all of your other abilities, as long as you're hitting a Q, will be a shorter cooldown. And then his E was increased in cooldown at higher ranks, yeah, which I don't really know the point. Maybe they didn't want you flying around the map with the new Q buff. So besides that, not too many changes to Ezreal at the moment, unless like Trinity Force is broken. I don't think Ezreal will be too strong in this patch. All the items look super broken though, so we'll have to see. So the Jinx changes are pretty interesting. There was 2 of them. One of them was her Q has minus 15% attack speed when you're using your rockets, which is kind of weird because I feel like they're trying to buff every AD carry, but now they're just making it so Jinx has like somewhat of a nerf in here, maybe possibly the only one. But besides that, her passive is you get a harder reset basically. So whenever you get a kill, you get 15% attack speed, which stacks each time you get a kill, which will be pretty nice for in fights, like being able to clean up with increasing rocket attack speed, but still a bit weird for like her laning phase, just poking in general, having lower attack speed. That's not going to feel very good. So I don't know, it looks okay. Probably one of the weaker AD carry changes of this patch, but Jinx was pretty strong at snowballing on current patch live. So these Lucian changes are pretty cool, I think. They're kind of accenting the way you can build them. So the changes, his ulti doesn't scale with attack speed, but now just shoots a base of 20, 25, 30 bullets. So that means that you can go a bit more caster build with the items they're putting in, and that means that you'll basically just try and hit as hard as you can with your calling with your items, so that it just basically just one-shots people. Whereas before, if you tried to build like that, it would be super slow shooting out. It would still do decent amount of damage, but it just wouldn't really be able to kill people because there'd be not enough bullets fast enough. So I like the changes. It should be pretty fun to play.
So Tristana got not big changes like Corki or Kokmo, but you got slight changes. That the Q is changed so that now it's only attack speed boost, not the cooldown reduction if you hit something with your explosive charge on. And the W has a new effect that if you get kills, assists, or max stack explosive charge, which is your E, bombs on champions, the W cooldown is reset. So if you get 4 stacks, which is the max stack on your E, the W cooldown will reset. So you can jump even more now, not only on kills, assists, but also on max stack E's. Also, the E's, the explosive charge, now abilities such as Tristana's jump and her ult applies E stacks, so that you can put a stack on someone, jump on them, hit them once more, and then ult them for 4 stacks, which is a pretty good burst, I would say. And that's pretty much what happened to Tristana. So she's not changed that much, she's kind of like the same still, but she has a different style now. The W damage also is a lot bigger later in the game, but bigger early game. So around like level 13, I think she will have a pretty strong burst if you max W second.
So the evade changes are pretty weird. They basically just made it so the percent max health damage is increased, goes from 8% to 12% from live to PB. So it's pretty good buff against anyone with tons of health, but against anyone who doesn't have tons of health, it does a bit less damage. Overall, I don't really know how that's really going to affect the game, just because against AD carries, you'll do a bit less damage. Against supports, you'll do a little bit more damage. So I don't know. Will be interesting to see. I think it doesn't really help or hurt her too much. The Urgot changes are his ulti to kind of go along with the new items and the way the new Less Whisper works. They made it so you just take 30, 40, 50% reduced damage instead of getting a ton of bonus armor and MR, just so that you're not just randomly easier to kill, which would just be random nerf to Urgot when he's kind of unplayed, so they gave him a little bit of love. So overall, most of these changes look like pretty significant buffs to the AD role in general, which I think is pretty necessary, honestly, because over the last like few seasons, few patches, it's always just nerfs downhill for the AD. Like everyone else is seeing these nice buffs. Mid lane got all these new AP item changes so that it's easier to get your large rod earlier. It's just easier in general to buy your items. Top lane got like Black Cleaver, Dead Man's Play, all these tanky sweet items, and the AD carry is just kind of like left behind. But now we're actually getting some love, seeing some new items come out to play with. I don't know if they're going to be like super bonkers, but it definitely looks like a step in the right direction for AD carries. Should be a good amount stronger than before. All of the base stats being buffed, and none of the other roles getting the same thing. Like top lane also doesn't get extra base stats. So I think it'd be cool to play. Lots of fun testing out the cannon, testing out Essence Reaver. Gonna be really sweet. AD carry changes specifically. Hopefully there's some more bonkers ones that I didn't talk about, but I definitely am pretty excited for this new patch.